You know, I used to be one of those people who de-scroll through 3 a.m. horror stories online and just roll my eyes. I figured they were all made up, just creepy fiction for clicks. But that all changed the night she knocked on my door. And I swear to you, whatever she wasn't human. It all started 2 winters ago. I was living alone back then, in a small house right on the edge of town. You know the type of place where the silence at night feels heavier, almost like it's pressing down on you. That particular night, sleep just wasn't coming. The wind was howling outside, rattling the windows, and my phone kept buzzing with these weird, static-filled notifications. They were messages from a number listed only as unknown, and they all said the same thing. "Are you awake?" I brushed it off as spam, some weird glitch, and went back to mindlessly scrolling through my phone. Then, at exactly 3:02 a.m., I heard it. 3 slow, deliberate knocks on my front door. My first thought was maybe a neighbor was in trouble. It was a cold night, after all. But when I peeked through the window, the street was completely empty. No cars, no fresh footsteps in the snow. Just the dark shape of someone standing directly in front of my door. It looked like a woman. At least, that was the shape of her. She had long, dark hair covering her face and was wearing nothing but a thin, white dress. She was barefoot in the freezing cold. She wasn't moving at all. Just standing there, her head tilted slightly to the side, as if she was listening for me inside. I whispered to myself, "What the hell?" My phone buzzed again. Another message from that same unknown number. This time it said, "Let me in." My heart hammered against my ribs. I backed away from the door, a cold dread washing over me. I didn't want to open it, but I also couldn't just leave someone out there to freeze to death, right? I tried to sound brave as I yelled through the door, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Silence. Then a voice answered, "It's so cold, please." But the voice sounded wrong. It was like someone was trying to imitate human speech but couldn't quite get it right. The tone was stretched, the words cracked and hollow. A shiver went down my spine that had nothing to do with the cold. I yelled back, "I'm calling the police." And that's when she said my name. "No, don't do that, Alex." I froze solid. How? There's no way she could have known my name. I frantically looked around the room, panicking. Every window was dark, but then I saw the tiny, blinking red light of my security camera on the porch. I grabbed my phone and quickly opened the app. The live feed loaded, showing my front porch. Completely empty. She was gone. No footprints in the snow. Not a single sign she was ever there. Just emptiness. Then the feed glitched for a second, static distortion, and suddenly she was back in the frame, but closer this time, right up against the door. Her face was finally visible. Eyes were completely black, like 2 empty voids. Her mouth was slightly open, and I could see her lips moving, whispering something I couldn't hear. I slammed my phone shut, turned off the camera feed, and ran to the kitchen, my mind racing. I grabbed the biggest knife I could find. And then the knocking started again this time. It was louder, more insistent. I held my breath, didn't move a muscle, just listened. But now, the knocks were coming from the back door. My blood ran cold. I slowly crept through the dark hallway, every floorboard creaking under my feet, announcing my every move. When I reached the kitchen, I could see my own terrified reflection in the glass of the back door, and for a split second, I saw a faint, dark shape moving in the reflection just behind me. I spun around, knife raised, but there was nothing there. The kitchen was empty. Then my eyes fell to the floor near the back door. There was a wet handprint on the tiles. It was small, almost human-shaped, except the fingers were too long, far too long. At that point, I was done trying to be brave. I ran to my bedroom, slammed the door, and locked it. I fumbled with my phone and dialed 911. The dispatcher answered, but before I could even get a word out, the line cut out, replaced by a wall of static. And beneath that static, A faint, distorted whisper. You shouldn't have looked. Suddenly, I heard footsteps from outside the room, slow, dragging footsteps coming down the hallway. They stopped right outside my bedroom door. Then, the whisper came again, right through the wood. Let me show you what you look like. The doorknob started to twist. Slowly, methodically. I held my breath, pressing myself against the far wall, the knife shaking uncontrollably in my hand. Then, it stopped. A few seconds of absolute silence passed, and then the front door slammed shut, so hard it shook the entire house. I waited in that room until dawn, too afraid to even breathe. When the sun finally came up, I cautiously opened my bedroom door. Every single door and window in the house was wide open. Outside, the snow on the lawn had melted into strange hand-like shapes, and carved into the wood of my front door, right where she had been standing, were 3 words. Thank you, Alex. The police came, of course. They didn't find any signs of forced entry. They told me the number that had texted me didn't exist. For weeks after that night, I'd wake up at exactly 3 a.m. to the sound of knocking that never stopped, coming from every door at once till I finally packed up and moved out. So if you ever hear someone knock on your door in the middle of the night, just don't answer it, because sometimes the thing that's knocking already knows your name. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have any of your own you'd like to share, drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more chilling tales. Stay safe out there.